All right, so here's your vocabulary, so go and get that copied. You can pause it. But now looking at the first question, it says the graph of the function is shown on the grid. Which order pair best represents the y-intercept of the graph? My important word is y-intercept. I'm going to write y-intercept, and I'm always going to write 0, comma, y. Now, if I know my x is 0, I need to get rid of a and d, because they don't have 0 in my x spot. Now I'm between b and c. If I look at my y line, I know I touch -2. So I would be writing, instead of this y, I would be writing 0, -2. My answer would be B. The next one says, the graph of the function is shown on the grid. What is the zero of g? 0. Remember, when we write 0, we're writing x comma 0. 0, x comma 0. If I look at my x-axis, because it's a 0, it's an x-intercept, I touch -6. So my point is -6, 0. That's my answer. Now this next one, I'm actually not sure why it confuses y'all, but it definitely does. The water level in a river was measured each day during a 2-week period. The graph models the linear relationship between the water level or water of the river in feet and the number of days the water level was measured. Which statement best describes the y-intercept? So my important word is y-intercept. Y-intercept, 0y. And I want to look at my y line. That's it. I want to ignore the rest of the graph. I don't care about anything else. Okay? When it says y-intercept, I'm looking at the y-axis. And I touch 16. The answer that has 16 in it is C. That's my answer. We're done. Okay? Today, I am learning how to write equations in point-slope form. I am learning how to solve for y in point-slope form to be able to use Desmos. I like this one the most, so that's what we're going to learn. We'll learn one of these, but really we're going to focus on Desmos, okay? So you have your star sheet. Point-slope form is going to be this one right here. This is what we are learning today. Take a picture of it so we can use it for later. Oops. All right. So, this is what we already know. Let's go to the notes. So when we have a table, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Desmos. So remember that these are my x values. They say x. These are my y values. They say y. So plus table. And then we're going to type all the values in. -3, 2, 5, 11. Now -130, 0, 78, 234. If I press the plus, then the little 4 dots, I get this black line. This is good, but if I look at my answer, it doesn't match any of my answers. This is where sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. So what I want to do is I want to take off the color, and I'm literally just going to graph these. So I'm going to graph these as well. So we have f of x equals 26 parenthesis x minus 2 parenthesis. And you see how this red line goes through the green points here, 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 here. That's my answer. So I would be done. If it touches the points, it's good. Let's take off the color, and we're going to try B just so you can see what I'm talking about. F of x equals -26 parentheses 2x minus 1. Do you see how this red line doesn't touch these points? That means it cannot be my answer. So let's go and try the next one. Again, we've also seen something like this. So what we could do is we could get 2 points and then match the numbers, or we could say This is -3, 0. This is 0, -5. I could literally put my answers in Desmos and said y equals -3 divided by 5 x minus 5. If I look at this, it touches -8.33 on my x, but I want -3. So this can't be my answer. So I'll try B. Y equals -3/5 x minus 3. Now this says -5 for my x, but my x is supposed to be -3. So that can't be my answer either. Y equals -5/3 x minus 5. Now this says -3 for my x, so that's good. Now for my y, 0, -5, that's good. So either way you do this, because we usually put this in Desmos and do, this is what we usually do. -3, 0. 0, -5. And we do this. We grab this, we export. We do the m. And we get -5/3, -5/3, -5, -5. So either way you do it, you would get the right answer. It just depends on which way you want to do it. Okay? So. I'm going to show you one of these by hand. Okay? So we have this equation right here. To be able to do this, you kind of have to match the numbers. Okay, so I see in my x spot, x1, I see my x spot, a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I see a 1 here. In my y spot, I also see a 1, and I see a 1 here. So they're using this point right here. The first thing I want to do is find my m. So what I'm going to do is put the table in Desmos. Table 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, and then -1, 2, 5, 8, and then we're going to do this, export, and my m equals 3. If I know my m equals 3, then I know that the only choices I have are C or D. So I have y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. This is really important that it says minus. So instead of my m, I'm going to literally put 3 right here. I'm replacing it. Now, instead of my x1, I'll be replacing this with my 1. So I would put 1 here. So instead of x1, I'm going to put 1. Now instead of my y1, I'm going to put -1. So right here, I would write -1. The only thing about this is when you have two negatives, they become a positive together. So my answer should be y plus 1 equals 3x minus 1, which is D. Okay. Now we're going to try one more a different way. So method 2 is using Desmos. So I have a table, so I'm going to go ahead and put the table in. Okay. This is the way I think is a little bit easier. So plus table, -20, oops, -20, -14, -8, -1. Then I have -268, -196, -124, -40. Now, I'm going to press a little magnifying glass, and I have my green dots right here. These are the dots I want to touch like the other question before. I'm going to go in and graph A. Y plus 28, 268 equals 1/12, parenthesis, x plus 20, parenthesis. Now, I see nothing happen, and I see this little error message. It's telling me that this isn't possible. Oh, well, that's... Okay, so I changed it. This still isn't possible, okay? Because y isn't by itself. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to look at the answer choices, okay? I have a positive 268. What is the opposite of a positive number? A negative number. So we have positive 268. We're going to change that to negative 268. Those are opposites. So on the back of this, I'm going to write negative 268, and I'm going to delete this part. So the next one is a positive 20. The opposite, I'm going to delete this, and the opposite is minus 20. The next one, positive 268, I'm going to delete. The opposite is minus 268. Positive 20, the opposite of positive is negative 20. Now, I'm going to graph this right here in my Desmos. I made a new equation. So in Desmos, instead of this, I'm going to delete this part because I deleted it over here on the paper. Minus 268. Now, if I did that, it made this line right here, and it touches one point, but it doesn't touch all four, which is an issue. So A cannot be my answer. So now let's try B. I'm going to take the color off. So if you just click where the color's at, you can take it off. B says y equals 1 over 12 x plus 268 minus 20. And that only touches 1 point. No, not even 1 point. It touches none of the points. So that can't be my answer either. Now my next one, C, is y equals 12x plus, y equals 12 parenthesis x plus 20 parenthesis minus 268. Now see, this blue line touches all the points. That would be my answer. Okay. Now we can try one more. For this one, delete everything. We can make a table or we can look at our numbers. This touches 0, 5, and then we don't have another point. So I would want to make a table because if there was a perfect x, we could do it that way. But since there's not, I want to make a table. Then we have this point, 3, negative 4. So when I go to Desmos, I'll put plus table 0, 5, 3, negative 4. Press the magnifying glass to get my points. And I see both of them there. My little, oh, I don't even need to do that, actually. I forgot, we're just matching. So I have my points because these won't match your answer. So we know that we can't graph these crazy looking ones, so we have to come up with the opposite. We have to solve for y. So the opposite of positive 1 is negative 1. The opposite of negative 4, positive 4. The opposite of positive 7, negative 7. The opposite of negative 2, positive 2. Now I can graph them exactly how they look. So I have y equals negative 3, x plus 2, minus 1. So these green dots are not touched. They're not passed through. So A cannot be my answer. So we'll delete A. Now if we go to B, we have y equals 3 parentheses x plus 7 parentheses plus 4. And then see how there's no purple? If you zoom out a little bit, you can see purple, but you can see it doesn't touch your points. So if you see it doesn't touch your points, that means it's not your answer. So you don't really have to zoom out. You just have to know it's not touching, so it's not your points. So I have, next one is y equals negative 3. So B is not my answer. Y equals negative 3 parentheses x minus 4 minus 7. And this black line does touch my green dots right here and right here. So C would be my answer. Okay. So let's go in and try the last one. So with this one, I could actually, nope, just kidding. This is not touching 4 perfectly. So we want to get at least 2 points. So we have a point here, 7, 2. And then we also have a point here at negative 7, negative 8. We could have used this point. This is a good point. I just don't like to use them because we confuse them a lot. If you were to use it, it would be 0, -3. But we only need 2 points. So we're going to delete all. If I look at my answers, they're the crazy equation, so I know they won't match my regular equation I get. So I'm going to put 7, 2, and then -7, -8. And then I see my 2 points on the graph. I'll press the 4. Oh, I don't need to do that. Just kidding. It's just habit now. So now I know that I can't graph these. We already know that. So what is the opposite of -2? +2. What is the opposite of +2? -2. Opposite of -2? +2. Opposite of +2? -2. So you're always doing the opposite to get rid of it, to move it to the other side to be able to graph. So I have y equals 7 over 5 x minus 5, or x minus 7, my bad, plus 2. This blue line only touches one of my points. That's good, but I need it touching both of my points. If it touches one, it's not your answer. We're on the right track, but we need it to touch both points. So we're going to take the color off, and we're going to go to the next one. Y equals 5 over 7, x plus 7 minus 2. This green one doesn't touch either point, so B can't be my answer. We're going to take the color off again by clicking right here. And now we're going to go to C. Y equals 5 over 7, x minus 7, plus 2. This purple one does, in fact, touch the point here and here. So C would be my answer. And then I actually guess best represents would be the important word. Best represents. I completely forgot that. Best represents. Because we're just looking for the one that looks the best, matches the best. So you're going to go and glue those into your notebook. I believe it'll be page 31 and 32. 31 and 32. Okay. So make sure to like, subscribe. Have a good day. Goodbye.